All right, so now we're going to front headlock. We did a lot of guillotine stuff and specific grip fighting and things like that, and stopping our partner from playing a dilemma between strangles and go behinds and anacondas and everything. So I'm not going to go too far in depth into guillotines from front headlocks, but of course some of you haven't had that instructional, so we're going to talk about it a little bit here. But the main focus is going to be making sure my defensive hands are in place, how to deal with my partner switching hands, where she circles, throw by, brings the hands in. And then, as my partner locks in the guillotine, stopping my partner from sliding in and actually controlling one of my legs or both my hips in some kind of closed guard. So as my partner goes to slide in to actually control the guillotine and finish the guillotine with the lower body, how we can avoid that and either pass my partner's guard or escape or whatever the case is. So we're going to go to some front headlock escapes, just basic defensive hand fighting, and then avoiding my partner's legs when she tries to come in and lock them and finish me. All right, so we're going to look at defensive hand positions now from front headlock. And we did a lot of front headlock stuff and obviously escaping front headlock, but we're going to go into just some just general ideas on how to defend guillotines from these positions. And understand that it's a pretty, if you take out the dilemmas and trilemmas of anacondas with darts with go behinds, if they're just looking at guillotines from this position, it's pretty similar to open guard. The person's going to lock up the upper body, then they're going to try to sit and pull you in and form some kind of connection with their legs to you in order to actually finish. So it's relatively similar to open guard when your partner actually locks up the guillotine. There's no connection with the legs, and they're trying to pull you in and sit down and pull you into a situation where they can connect the legs and finish you, okay? So from this position, we're going to look at defensive hands, front headlock, okay? Where from here, in order for her to guillotine me, she has to be in a position where she has one elbow in front of the shoulder and one elbow behind the shoulder. So from here, she can control me, and then she can eventually punch hands into place and go for finishes. So I'm again going to have my primary defensive hand, my thumb, to the inside like so. I'm going to have my secondary hand in like so, the false grip over the wrist. If at any point from here, she beats my primary hand by punching off this wrist like so. From this position, as she goes to throw the guillotine in, I can use that secondary hand to pull everything down, reset the primary hand, and go into place. In addition to this, usually what we'll have is a connection of our jaw and ear to our shoulder and bicep like so. So when she goes to punch everything in, it's not only more difficult to punch the guillotine in, but she has less purchase and control over my head. That will make it easier for me to take my head out when it's time to actually go in to escape. All right, so just reiterating my defensive hand positions here. When my partner goes in and tries to strangle me, I'm always in this position like so. And now from here, we can look to go in and start escaping. All right, so just going back and touching on this dilemma game that my partner's going to be playing from front headlock. We spoke about this in different instructionals, but it's always going to be between strangling and going behind. All right, my partner has various kinds of strangles from here. She can go in and she can hit guillotines, various guillotines. She can hit anaconda strangles. She can start going in and hitting darces and start moving around behind me. She can do all kinds of things from here. All right, the basic dilemma game is going to be, if my hands are on the floor and my partner tries to circle behind me, it's going to be much easier for my partner to access the legs, or for me to access my partner's legs. But because my hands are accessing the legs, it'll be much more difficult for me to defend the guillotine, where now she can go in and start finishing me from here. All right. If, however, I'm blocking my partner's hands defensively so she can't strangle me, now when she goes to hit a go behind and she goes to either hit she goes to block my elbow or she goes to arm drag, whatever the case is, and she goes to beat me from here, it's going to be much harder for me with my hands in place to actually go through and stop my partner from getting behind me. So there's always going to be a basic dilemma where if my hands are active, it's going to be a pretty easy thing from when my partner goes to move behind me to start going in and catching my partner's legs. But at the same time, when I go to catch my partner's legs, from here, I go to pull my partner in, and because I have no defensive hands, I'm driving towards my partner. Now she locks up, and because I'm driving towards my partner, I'm bringing my hips in, and she can a lot of times lock her legs around me like so and go for the finish. Whereas if from here, I have good defensive hands in place, now it's going to be harder for her to strangle me, but she can use her knees, for example, to block my elbow, and now she can start walking in, getting behind me, switching her hand position, and now she's behind me in crucifix or back kick scenarios. So the basic dilemma between going from strangles and front headlock and go behinds is going to be what you're kind of dealing with in these situations. All right, so we're going to look at ways now of our opponent, how she can look to start setting the guillotine, and how I can look to defend from these positions. All right, the first thing she can do from here is when I have my primary and secondary defensive hand in, she can use her left hand in this scenario, over the top, to just go in and use a V grip on my wrist to punch my hand off. And now from here, she can punch her hand across, and she can either go into high wrist position, she can go into low elbow, she can go into all different kinds of things. But she can take my primary hand off and hope that she can set her hand before my secondary hand pulls the hand down. And from these positions, as I go to defend from here, she beats my hand, and now she can go in and start going into attacks from here. Okay. Another thing my partner can do is from this position, she can use movement to set the hands. Where from here, she'll have maybe a chin strap, like so, and she has a tricep grip. And from here, she goes to start circling around towards my back in this direction. And as I go to follow, she hits a pass off where she throws to the opposite hand. And from this position, now she can set the guillotine from these positions. So she'll use movement and she'll threaten moving towards my back, in which case I don't want her taking my back. So most of the time, I'll try to start following my partner, or I'll start reaching for the legs. And on that reach, or on that, on the instance where I take my hands off of the strangle hands and put them down on the floor to stop my back from getting taken, she will move one way and then misdirect, and she'll use that to start switching hands with the guillotine. So she'll go to start moving in this direction. As I go to start following my partner, she'll throw by, and now she'll be able to set tight guillotines in this position, and she'll beat me, where now I can get finished with high wrist, high elbow, all kinds of things from there. All right. She can also use combinations where she has an anaconda, for example. And from here, I'm trying to go and I'm trying to separate my partner's hands like so, where now my hands are out of place, where I'm either posting on my partner's elbow like so, or a lot of times I'll be pulling my elbow back. And as I pull my elbow back, I can't access my partner's wrist. And as the elbow comes back, from here, she brings her hand up and she can go to strangle me. She can also have darce situations, where from here, I'm trying to go in and I'm trying to pull my elbow back like so. And as I pull my right elbow back from this position, my secondary hand is in no place to access my partner's hand. My primary hand can't access the hand that's going to strangle me. And as I'm defending the darce, I bring everything out in this position, and now the opposite hand comes through and she beats me. So she can use throw-bys and movement to start getting my neck exposed. She can use basic grip breaks, or she can put herself in situations where she uses other submissions to start threatening me from here. Okay? Whenever this happens, any of this, you're always going to be looking to use the secondary hand to just quickly reach up, catch over my partner's hand, pull everything down, and reset with the primary hand. So the secondary hand is going to be our safeguard to stop my partner from shooting in a tight strangle. So from here, when my partner goes to strip my grip off, we use that secondary hand to just pull everything back. Now we take our hand back up and we reset. So if I feel my primary hand is beat from here, she goes to shoot everything across. We make it hard and we reset. If from here, she tries to go into a throw-by, or from here I go to follow. As she goes to beat me from this position, right from here, it's going to be hard for me to get my left hand in place as the wrist is going up. Everything happens so fast. So as my partner goes to hit the throw by, she goes to walk. She's going to switch hands from right hand strangle to left hand strangle. And right from here, we catch, we replace, and now we're ready to go. So we use that secondary hand. I have everything in place. From here, she goes to start threatening a back kick. I go to follow. As I go to follow from here, I put my hands on the floor. She goes to throw by, and you see, as she goes to throw by, most of the time she's going to be throwing by to positions with a high wrist, and everything happens so fast. If you can get your hand in place, great. If you can't get your primary hand in place, then it's going to be time to start reaching up, pulling everything down, resetting, and going into work here. All right. So she goes to hit a throw by. We have everything in place. As she goes to hit that throw by, either have primary hand, or she goes to hit that throw by. We have secondary hand that comes up, catches, and we're back in business. Same thing for anaconda. If she goes in, she tries to hit an anaconda, and from this position, I'm bringing the elbow back right from here. When she goes to punch that hand in, the wrist is already so far gone, I won't be able to access it. So it's that secondary hand, which is my saving grace. So right from here, we got to pull the elbow back, and she goes to punch everything up. We catch that secondary hand, we bring everything through, and now we're in position to defend. Same thing with Darce. We go in, right from this position, I'm trying to pull my right elbow back. Because I'm pulling my right elbow back, a lot of people even shoot it between the legs. So I'm pulling the right elbow back, my primary hand is not in position to be able to catch. The whole thing is that I pull my elbow back, and I shoot my hand below the height of my elbow. If I just pull my elbow back, it's going to be hard. So the whole thing is we go here to separate. As we go here, that right hand of hers goes to throw in, usually to high wrist positions. And the time that I have allowed, I won't be able to get my right hand up. So as we go to separate from this position, she goes to strangle me with that right hand of hers. Secondary hand catches, we pull it down, we replace, and now we're back into position, ready to go in and beat my partner. So we look at our various ways of our partner looking to go in and set the guillotine. She can use basic grip breaks, she can use movement with throw bys, or she can use dilemmas with other submissions where I go to defend that I open everything up and she goes to throw that hand in. Now, on all of these occasions, we're going to be looking, if we can, to use the primary hand, but almost always, because everything's happening so quickly and we're worried about one thing and not the guillotine, something else. We're in a dilemma game. It's going to be our secondary hand, which reaches up. The secondary hand saves us, pulls everything back down, switches to the primary hand, and then we're in business, ready to defend and escape. All right, so now let's just look at a quick escape that we can hit when my partner's trying to feed in the guillotine with just a quick elbow pass or arm drag. So whenever I see that my partner's grip isn't incredibly tight, because remember, she needs some kind of movement in order to lock the guillotine. In order for her to actually punch a strong guillotine in, she has to loosen her arms enough to actually set the guillotine good. And now from here, she can go in and finish me. So right from these positions, anytime I see my partner's grip isn't super tight or her elbow is a little bit far towards my center line, especially when she's trying to go into things like high wrist positions, and the elbow comes towards my center line, this is the perfect time to go in. So right from here, we just step our left leg up from this position. Now we go in and we use an elbow post on our partner. And now right from here, we just use the elbow post to move to create a pass off to my right arm. Now the whole thing from here is we just go and we post the hand, and we look to take our head right to our partner's center line. The whole thing is I drag everything towards my right hip, I rotate, and I just chase the center line with my head. And now right from here, we're out, and most of the time we're in situations where we can drag our partner on by and go into counter offense right from there. So right from here, whenever I see my partner has a strong front head, but she's loosening the grip to go into punch tighter submissions or tighter locks into place, we can either use one, a pass-off method, where we go here, or two, if she tries to put a high wrist in place, I see that coming, and as the high wrist comes in, the elbow comes towards me, go ahead, shoot the elbow across. And right from here, we just grab a position like so. Now, right from here, as I grab the elbow, she goes to lock everything. I grab the elbow, and I just touch my partner's center line with my head. Now, right from here, you pull everything on by, or you end up at least out, and most of the time, behind your partner. So whenever I see my partner's trying to use movement to go into guillotines from here, I can't get my defensive hands in place. She goes to punch in high wrist position. We just pull everything on through. It's not quite as strong of a drag as usual because of the fact that when your partner gets here, usually when I drag, we're in this position, here. Here, my partner's hand is inside of my elbow. So the drag won't be as strong. If she goes to pull out from here, it'll be a lot easier. But if she goes to pull away from me, I'm out of the guillotine. But that's all we're looking for. So from here, whether it be an elbow pass, whether she has control of my arm, we use an elbow pass to pass off from these positions, when we get to our partner's far hip, or whether it be she goes for a high wrist position, then we just drag everything on by, we end up behind our partner, and we're ready to go. All right, so now we're going to look at just general idea of anticipating our partner's legs. Like I spoke about a little bit before, it's front headlock is very similar to open guard insofar as the fact that my partner doesn't have a meaningful connection of her legs to my body yet. So whenever my partner locks up a guillotine, you feel like, oh, okay, this is actually going to be a tight attempt here. We have to be able to anticipate our partner's legs coming towards us to start trapping our legs or trapping our hips with our legs around me. So when I have a front headlock and my partner from here goes in and she actually punches in a tight guillotine, whatever the guillotine is from here, understand that whatever side your head is on, your partner is going to be sliding that side knee towards you. All right, so if my head is on the right side of my partner's body, she's always going to be looking to slide her right knee in towards me to pull me in and then to form some kind of connection with her left leg to me or wrap two legs around me or lock me in half guard or anything that we're looking to do or anything that we looked at previously. All right, so we have to be able to anticipate this and deal with this. Now we can anticipate this in a few ways, which we're going to look at, and we already have looked at in the past. But just understand, you have to be ready for these transitions. The second my partner locks up a guillotine, you feel like it's going to be tight, the number one thing you're going to do if you already lost a hand fight, okay, let's say my partner goes in and she punches in some kind of a high risk guillotine. And I think I'm just not going to be able to use my secondary hand and obviously not my primary hand to pull everything down. The mistake everybody makes from here is they stay fighting at the upper body. Once I've lost the upper body battle, now it's time to focus on the lower body. But once my partner actually has the hand set in a guillotine, that means it's time for me to address the lower body. And addressing the lower body means not letting her get her legs connected to my body in some form of way, which will allow her to pull my hips in, pull my chest up to my chin, and then with her upper body crunch my chin down to my chest. So the whole thing from here is going to be, once she actually sets the grip, now we have to look to start anticipating the legs. So we're going to be ready where as she goes to sit, we can go into a defensive roll. Or as she goes to sit, we can start, let's say an arm in. Or as she goes to sit from here, we can go in and we can start passing. We have to be ready just mentally to anticipate the legs coming in towards us and her trying to suck us in and trap our body with her legs. All right, so the same roll throughs that we did when we're working from open guard, just conservatively rolling through, it's going to be the same thing here. So the second my partner goes to put in any guillotine, okay, whether it's a seated guard, like so, which actually is a little bit harder to go into a roll through because your partner's already on their butt, which means their legs are weightless, which actually gives you less time to go into a roll through. Whereas when she's on her knees, because her legs are weighted from here, she has to physically sit down first, slide in, and then lock her legs. So actually have a little bit more time to defensively roll from her front headlock. But whenever my front headlock, the second my partner locks up, understand that your head is going to be the key here. The only exception to this is going to be a situation where you're in a high risk. But any of these positions, when your head is on the right side of your partner's body, she will be sliding the same side leg in towards you. Just know that that's the side you're going to look to roll to. If from here she sits down and she tries to pull me in and I try to roll out in this direction, her leg will come up over me and I'll always get stuck from here. This is no good. Where from here, as my partner goes to sit, now from here I can always post to my partner's knee, regardless of the guillotine. Now from this position, as she goes to start following me with her legs, we can easily go into those same roll throughs that we did before, where from here we can extract our head and go into all of our escapes. So understand, just mentally, because everything is timing based, it's, you know, the speed of decision making is the most important speed that we have. Understand that once your partner puts your head on one side of the body or the other, that's the side you have to roll to. So from here, if my head is on the right side, I know her right leg is coming in towards me, and her left leg is going to be the leg that catches me. So her left leg is going to throw over my body. All right. So from here, if she goes to sit down, good, and I go to start rolling, it's going to be impossible to get my body outside of this knee in time for me to actually roll through. So the whole thing is, the second she traps my head and she goes to sit, it's like, okay, this guillotine's tight, it's going to finish me. Just get ready to roll on the same side your head is on. So the second she locks up, oh, I'm going to get guillotined. Now the second she goes to sit, we're out, and we're ready to go. So we play this game where we anticipate our partner's legs coming towards us, and we just go into conservative rolls that will get our head free and clear before my partner has the chance to either lock herself in half guard, full guard, or whatever the case is. Now, of course, the only exception with this is with high-risk guillotines. With high-risk guillotines, you have to go the opposite direction. So from here, and she goes into a high-risk position, and she covers my arm. Now, if I go to roll, she can still finish me through the transition. So right from here, we just step our left leg up, we pull on our partner's elbow. Now when she goes to suck me in and finish, we just rotate in this direction. Now when she goes to finish me from here, it's a pretty easy thing to bring my knees back to my elbows, bring everything back to the inside, and start recovering guard. So the one exception to this is high wrist. So the second I see that she goes into, even if she goes into a high elbow and she doesn't have control over my arm, because she doesn't have the control aspect of my head and my arm, I can still go into the same roll we just did. But when she controls my arm from here, now, because she has the control element of the arm in guillotine, but the strangling power of a high elbow guillotine, it's different. With the arm in guillotine, I can roll through because my partner's not actively strangling me on the roll through, which gives me time to recenter my head. From here, because of the fact that my partner is strangling me the whole time, we have to go a different route. So from here, we just go in and we just turn everything towards the ceiling. When she goes to finish me and pull me in, we just take our chin away from our chest, and now we just walk until our head comes out. Now we bring knees to elbow, we can go right back into all of our escapes. Another thing that we can do from here, just as we did in open guard, is we can pass the side control. Now again, we can only pass the side control when there's low elbow options. If your partner has a high wrist option, whether it be figure four, high wrist, high elbow, passing the side control isn't going to be an option. But any low risk variations of guillotines, we can pass the side control on. The way that we do this is from here. The second my partner, I know that she's going to try to sit to her right hip, which means that I can either conservatively roll to my partner's right, my left, or I can jump across to my right, my partner's left. The way that I do this is that I have to block my partner's knee and get outside my partner's knee as she sits. So let's say she has an arm in guillotine and she goes to slide her right knee in, she goes to sit. I just touch the outside of my partner's knee like so. So now when she has to pull me in and she has to take that left leg open high, she can't do it because it's caught by my hand. And now as she goes to pull me in, as she goes to fall back, we just use that momentum to hop across to the opposite side, so I can end up in side control. You can either hop to the opposite side or you can scurry to the opposite side by just walking. So right from here, she goes to pull herself in, and we just touch the outside of our partner's knee. Now, right from this position, we just post the head on the floor. As she goes to sit, we can either walk, like so. Or my favorite, because it doesn't really take athleticism, you're kind of just hopping across. It's a little bit faster. And because of the fact that your hips are up and your legs are off the floor, there's less chance of you getting caught in your partner's legs. But you can walk or you can jump. I prefer the jump just because I'm clearly not athletic, so it's not anything that requires athleticism. We can jump across when she has to pull in like so. As she has to pull, we just shoot our forehead down to the floor. We post our left hand. We just hop across. And the whole thing is we don't want her inverting her left knee. So we cover the hip. Now when she goes to lock guard, just not going to happen. All right, so one more time quick. We can either one, walk. We just touch. And we pass. Or two, we jump. The whole thing is I post my left hand, I post my forehead, and then I either walk or I jump. Either walking or jumping over. So we go in, she goes to pull me through. As she goes to pull me through, we touch. And the whole thing is I want to get outside my partner's knee, and I want to keep my partner's knees as close together as possible with this right hand. So as she goes to pull me in, we pass, we cover the hips, we put her back flat, and then we're ready to go. All right, so another great option that we have when my partner locks in a guillotine is instead of my partner pulling me in towards them, I can pull her in towards me. So what this looks like is from this position, she goes to lock in, she goes to bring the guillotine up nice and high, like so, whatever the case is. From here, we can just go in and grab our partner's leg like so. Now, if I can access the legs, this is the perfect time for me to just sit down like so and just pull myself into a situation where I can go into half guard. Because of the fact that I'm pulling myself down into half guard from here, it's pretty easy for me to recenter my head. So let's say she locks in a tight arm and guillotine from this position. Now, right from here, we just go in and we catch our partner's leg. If we can catch our partner's leg, we're just going to sit and slide our right knee between our partner's knees and pull her right leg, her right ankle out. We just catch our partner's leg, whether it be in full half guard or whether it be in a lower leg shift. Doesn't make a difference to me. The main thing is you get out of the guillotine from there. Okay? So right from here, she goes in, she locks up the guillotine. All right? From this position, we go through, we can catch our partner's leg like so. Right from this position, we just fall down and we pull our partner's hand up to the floor. And now from here, we go in, we lock up a half guard, and we're in business, ready to go in and start escaping. So, we made it to the end. We have like almost 3.5 hours, I think, of content here, along with the rolling, the rolling footage and breakdown. This is I tried to kind of reverse engineer this from systematically attacking the guillotine. A lot of people have been asking me about doing just one specific move, and we touched on guillotines a lot in other instructionals, but this one was dedicated purely to defense on guillotine. If you understand that you have just your primary and your secondary hand to stop your partner from getting hands in place, and you can use a disciplined primary and secondary defensive hand, it's going to be hard for your partner to get everything locked in place. But remember, there are 2 stages of almost all guillotines except for high-risk guillotines. High-risk guillotines are in a category of their own because of the fact that they are so strong. But when you're talking about all the other guillotines, your partner has to first get an actual grip set on the guillotine, which means they have to break through your defensive hands and your jaw. They have 1 strangle hand, you have 2 defensive hands, and you have your jaw protecting you. So your partner has to be creative in the ways that she breaks through the defensive hands, whether it be through grip fighting, movement, using dilemmas with other moves or positions, and they have to actually lock the grip in. Once they can lock the grip in, the battle is not over. She's won the battle at the upper body, but she hasn't won the battle at the lower body. There are 2 battles being fought. One at the upper body, actually setting the grip, and the other at the lower body of actually connecting my hips to your hips, whether it be through half guard, whether it be through full guard, whether it be through mount, whatever the case is. I need to have some form of connection of my legs to your body, which will actually allow me to pull everything in and finish. So it's not just an upper body battle, everyone punches the grip in. It's an upper body battle and a lower body battle. So if your partner beats you at the upper body battle with your defensive hands and your jaw set in place, now you have to focus on the lower body. And if you can stop your partner from wrapping their legs around you, even if they have a tight guillotine, it is going to be very hard for your partner to finish you in these positions. The only position she doesn't need a full connection of her legs and hips to your legs and hips is with high-risk guillotines or any variation of high-wristed guillotines where you jump to side control and then you can get finished. But you're finishing yourself, because if you jump to side control, you can always just roll through. You can just do a front roll and be out of the guillotine anyways. But you can be legitimately finished from any position in an actual high-risk guillotine. So understand that there are 2 battles being fought, and you have to lose both of them in order to actually lose. And if you could just stop your partner from connecting the legs, it's going to be hard to get guillotined. All right. So using conservative rolls, you'll see I think I did most of those in the rolling footage. Conservative rolls are the easiest way to get out, and my personal favorite from top position. And then just either putting hands in the mat from bottom position or using ashigramis to interfere depending on my leg position. But it's a pretty hard battle if you can stop your partner pretty hard thing for your partner to win, battle for your partner to win, if you can stop them from connecting their legs to your body. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you to Ty. Thank you to BJJ Fanatics. Thank you to Miss Sunny for being here for the last couple of days. And hopefully you guys enjoyed Guillotine Defense.